guys, I am so excited to be doing this homemade Lux project with you. As always, it's a homemadelux.com production, and you'll find all the materials you need to create this gorgeous project in your kit. So first off, we'll just go ahead and you can download whatever letter that you want to use for this from our blog post, and I'll have that in the description box. And then you just trace it. You trace it to the size that you want. You can make this as big as you want to so that you can frame it later. And the next step is you're going to use your quilling paper, and these are 1/4 inch strips, and you're going to just measure out each side, each part of your letter, and go ahead and just measure it and cut it to size. And then after you've done all of that, you're going to go ahead and just erase line by line each part that you're going to put on, just so that you can still kind of see it, and you can just use your glue pen and very gently add a little bit of glue. As you can see, I put on a little bit too much, I think, on this one. But as little amount of glue as you can put with your glue pen, you do that, and use your tweezer and your fingers to just kind of hold it in place until it dries. Next, and I also recommend that you work from out to back to in. So just make sure you're doing those outer ones first and then doing the inner ones. So the next one I should have done was like the inside of the curve, but I did the outside of it. So learn from my mistake and go ahead and do the inside of the curve yet, just in case you're doing a D as well. But yeah, you just continue doing this until you filled in your entire letter. And guys, as I mentioned before, this is a Homemade Lux project. Homemade Lux is a craft subscription box. We send you in the mail all the materials you need to create these gorgeous Pinterest inspired projects every single month. You can also grab some one-time kits if subscriptions are not your thing. So check us out at homemadelux.com. Now we're on the last part of my letter. They're just finishing this up, and this can take some getting used to, guys. So don't, if your paper falls on the side, don't get discouraged. It happened to me too. But now I'm going to teach you how to make some different quilling shapes. The first one we're going to do is just the very simple coil. You're just going to take your quilling tool and you're going to get the very edge of that paper, and you're going to just start coiling it. And you can, the key with coiling your paper is to not coil it too tightly. So what you're going to see me here, I'm doing it kind of tightly just to make sure I have it on my tool effectively, keeping it as straight as possible. And when I get to the end, I'm going to go ahead and just take it off, and then I'm going to use my finger on top to kind of loosen up that coil as much or as little as I want. I'm just loosening this up a very little bit, and then I'm going to just glue the side down. And here I'm not even pushing out any glue. I'm just kind of using the little amount of glue that's already on the glue pen and using my tweezer to kind of hold it down until it dries. And there is your first little coil. Next, I'm going to teach you the multicolored coil. So you're basically doing a coil on top of a coil in different colors, however many you want to. The larger it gets, the kind of harder it gets to hold. So I'm going to do just 2 or 3 of these. So I'm starting with my lightest color, and I'm doing the exact same thing, just coiling it as tightly or as loosely as I want to. I'm doing this one a little bit tighter because I'm trying to get as much on as possible, and you can play with this the length of each strip too. So now I'm putting some glue on the outside of that quilling paper and connecting this blue paper on top of it. I'm just gonna hold it a little while until it dries a little bit. It's still a little bit tacky, and then I'll just keep coiling, and then I'll add my third color after this. So it's kind of a different coil. It's much larger, obviously, but it's also multicolored, kind of gradiated color. So it's a really pretty thing for maybe an inside of a flower or just even on its own. Okay, just adding some more glue and adding my final sheet of paper on top of this one. Yeah, see, I'm not perfect either, guys. Just try to get your hands in place. This is pretty funny. Could have edited that out, but I really wanted to show you guys that none of us are perfect, and that's the beauty of crafting, right? We all take our time and we try different things until we make it work for us. All right, and there's my coil. Again, I'm doing that thing where I'm kind of loosening it up and straightening it out with the top on the top with my thumb and my index finger, while I'm still holding it with my other hand. And then I'll just glue this closed. Same thing, you don't need a lot, just whatever residual glues on your pen should work. Now, isn't that adorable? So that's a cute little coil. So now you've done 2 coils, the regular and the multicolored. Let's try something else. Let's try a teardrop petal. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a coil. Just do the exact same thing that you did before. You're not gonna make this very tight. Just do as loose as you can while still keeping it together. So you're gonna go ahead and do that. So again, I'm loosening it up, and here's where it differs. You're going to press down on one side of your coil, and you can glue it before or after you make the teardrop. It's just your preference. I glued it first, and then I'm just going to press down on one side to make a little teardrop. And it's like a petal, so it looks like the petal. We're going to use these as petals for flowers, or just they're like little teardrops. So same kind of quilling technique with your coil, your loose coil, and then you squeeze one side of it. You can make all different colors of these. I'm teaching you each skill, so then you can make as many of these or as little of these of each of the different colors, as many different sizes as you want to, and you can fill in your letter with these. Now, I do suggest if you're making flowers with these that you try to make them all the same size. That looks really nice. You can also do the multicolored with the teardrops, so you don't have to do one color. You could maybe do 2, and that looks really nice as a petal as well. So okay, now I'm going to teach you a layered petal, and you can use whatever color strip you want, and just make a little, well, petal shaped with your paper, and just glue that together. And the reason why we call it layered is that the next one you're going to do this exact same thing, but make it a little bit bigger to where it can fit over that smaller one that you've done. And you can do that in a different color, which looks really nice. It usually looks really nice in a lighter to darker color. So I'm going to just measure that and make sure it can cover that one, and go ahead and cut it. And again, I'm just gluing that down and popping it open so it fits over. And you can do as many of these as you want to. I'm gonna do maybe one more. Next, I'm going to show you just how to curve your paper without using the edge of your tool. You just simply just run that along the paper and it curls up. And you're going to use that to make the scrolls that you see below. You're just going to curve it like that, and then you're going to coil one end a little bit, or both ends, or you'll make an S on one end so you can coil both ends. And you can make them as tight or as loose as possible. I find that when you do the scroll part, the looser it is, the better it looks. And now that you've made a whole bunch of different shapes, coils and teardrops and layered petals and all your different coils and curves and scrolls, then is the fun part of laying it all out into your letter. Just having fun. You get to place it. And guys, you might notice that I'm doing my petals where they're facing up, like the pointed point is up, which is different than what a petal will look like, right? The round part is usually up. I just liked it this way, and that's, you know, that's how you craft. You just do it the way that you like it. But of course, if you want these to look more flower-like, you would put your teardrops with the curved part up and the coils in the middle. But yeah, just have fun with this. Just place your coils and your scrolls wherever you want it, and just have fun. And then, of course, you glue. Once you get it how you like it, you go ahead and you just glue them all down by placing some glue on the cardstock and then gluing it down. Once I got everything on the paper, it just felt so spacey that I wanted to add some more. And that's when you do the fill-in part. So again, I'm just making some scrolls, and I'm just gonna fill in this whole letter until I like how it looks. And that's it for this homemade Luxe craft project. Just fill it in as much as or as little as you would like, and have fun, guys. And you can grab this kit at homemadeluxe.com.